Okay, we should be live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, the 10th episode. Blimey. Um, well done for all your stamina. I hope you're still really enjoying this. Because I suspect we're only halfway through the game. I mean, given that we know that the game consists of just over 500 points, I think. I think we're roughly halfway through, but hopefully, we're gonna make some good progress. We've got new places to explore, so I'm going to start by asking you all to just say hello and introduce yourselves quickly.
Hello, I'm Lee.
Hi, I'm Smandies.
Hello, I'm Rosie.
Hello, I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Woody. Happy Canada Day.
Yeah, happy
Have you had
Canada
a
Day,
drink?
Woody.
Have you had a drink, Woody?
First of Canada Day.
No, that's the problem I haven't. It's early.
Surely it's never too early on Canada Day. Anyway, there's some exciting things because, first of all, I actually read the manual, which is a good thing to do. Like 2 months into playing this game, and there are some interesting things. So rather than forcing everybody to read the whole thing, I've picked out a few things that I thought were interesting, stroke potentially very useful in our puzzle solving. And then, as I promised last week, I also went and did some experiments with the book in the library and with the terminal in our laboratory, just enough to sort of pull a little thread a little bit to see if it starts to unravel. And as soon as it started unraveling, I stopped so we can all explore it together. Okay, but I can report that on both fronts, when I started pulling on the thread did start to unravel. So with any luck, it will continue to unravel when we now look at it, not just expose a huge knot that we can't solve. But I suggest we go and look at that when we get to the game. And before then, I'm just going to go through a few of these things from the manual that I thought were interesting to us. The first thing is the section on warp addiction. It says, in the early days, we lost a few of our better operatives because they warped too far. Mickey Blowtorch, for example, a brilliant man with a brilliant mind, but he just took his warping too far. In the end, we lost him. He gave up on life and went to live in a forest. So apparently, if you warp too much, or you want to warp further and further away from your original body, you end up wanting to stay in your host and never return, and that's what warp addiction is. There's also a section on what happens while you're in host parasite mode. So while you're warped into a host, and it says that while in warp mode, you're given a complete manicure. We also ensure that your teeth are given the once over to keep them in pristine condition. So don't worry, your body is being looked after wherever it is. You can also nest warps. So obviously we are in a nested warp because whoever we are in our actual reality, we've warped into a goldfish, and then the goldfish has warped into the Dr. Roach in Hydropolis. So we are in fact two. It's like Inception, basically. We're two warps deep currently, which does beg the question whether our reality is actually the real reality. And apparently, there's been a lot of philosophical questioning about that, but no one has been able to escape from their own reality. It also warns about warping into a host at the wrong time, right? When you don't really have any control over what your host is doing when you arrive. And it says the following list are examples of dangerous activities: operating machinery, driving a vehicle, skydiving, mountain climbing, hang gliding, watching soft drink commercials, eating a curry, visiting the tax inspector, reproduction of any kind, feeding a baby or other animal. So Worth bearing in mind, so far we've been lucky and our host hasn't been engaged in any of those activities. There are certain of those that I definitely want to avoid. The other place where host parasite mode can cause real problems to interdimensional espionage operatives is if the host is undergoing psychoanalysis at the time. Yeah, apparently, if you're undergoing psychoanalysis, you may come across as suddenly delusional and get banged up somewhere for being psychotic. Also, if the host is under the influence of certain truth drugs, then the operative as parasite will have to speak the truth. Certain drugs used in the treatment of delusion can also prevent exit from host parasite mode. I thought that was really interesting. So it does talk about drugs a fair bit. So potentially it might be a way of exposing the Finns if we can get their host to take the truth drug, then they will have to reply to us as the parasite, not the host. And then this thing about certain drugs used in the treatment of delusion can prevent exit. And then there's a section on leaving host parasite mode. So sometimes obviously we want to leave host parasite mode and return to our previous reality, our previous host, or reality prime. The simplest is to sleep. So that's something that we might want to try out, is just see if we can just go to sleep and whether that will take us back into the goldfish bowl. And then it talks about something called the Coles effect, which is that under extreme audio-visual conditions, HPM breaks down completely. For example, lights flashing at certain frequencies, repetitive sounds, extremely bright lights, loud and heavy bangs. So that kind of confirms what we thought from the police cruiser. So there's practical uses for these things of leaving a warp. So firstly, when the going gets hard, you may have to leave a warp very quickly before you get killed or thrown in front of a tube train. And these techniques can also be applied to members of the Seven Deadly Finns to expel them from a particular dimension. Even in one of the examples or quotes from a book by Mickey Blowtorch, someone just shouts bang and turns the lights on and off, and it expels someone from their host. So that may be something that we need to do, is actually figure out how to expel the Finns back once we figure out who they are. There's also a section on voluntary vacation mode, or VVM, which is, of course, what we were engaged in when we were in our goldfish bowl, and we were rudely forced to engage in another mission because of its high priority. But there's a brochure, basically, that indicates what kinds of voluntary vacation mode operatives are allowed to engage in based on the number of points they accumulate for successful missions. At the lowest level, 3 points will allow you to become a gardener or a ticket clerk or a car park attendant. 9 points will allow you to become a well-jalar of Naan, or a television repair person, or an occupational therapist. 25 points, a king of one of the lesser kingdoms of SWAT, a programmer for Magnetic Scrolls Limited, a piano player in one of the brothels at Hans. There is a small chance of being shot for this one. At 50 points, your host can be a gaseous being of Pning, a thermal printer, a weighted book, and at 100 points, the ultimate award for long service is a goldfish. So we were actually engaged in a vacation in a goldfish host because of our previous successful or highly decorated track record in successfully completing missions. There's a few things from the section from the extract from Warping Along with Blowtorch, which is Mickey Blowtorch's book on how to survive and navigate the game, essentially, how to navigate host parasite mode. A few things, examine and search, are not the same, and we should also remember to look under. We used these in the prologue quite a bit, but we've kind of maybe forgotten about those things. You can also put kind of qualifiers into some of your verbs. So we could quietly go north, for example, or carefully go south. You can also invite people to go places. So you could say things like Prendergast, which is a character in this excerpt. Would you like to go to the cinema? Or you could say, ask Prendergast to the cinema. Or say to Prendergast, do you want to go to the cinema?
Useful, yep.
I mean, I'm not sure when we want to tell people to go places, but there is a way of basically telling people to go to locations that we know about without having to tell them, go north, go south, go wherever. We can tell them to go to a location like this. And the parser is pretty flexible. Those are 3 very different ways of telling people to go somewhere. There's also a command PN for pronouns, so we can check our host's pronouns, which is kind of interesting. Or we can check what the current pronouns refer to. So we can say, if we refer to him or her or it, what the parser is actually associating with those pronouns currently. So,
Chris,
sorry.
I have a question. Was that something that was added later on, or was this game just kind of predicting the future?
Well, no, I think pronouns in text adventures are quite important because it needs to know who you're referring to when you talk about him, her, they, them, it. And so this it's the first time I've ever seen this in a. I didn't know this was a feature of Magnetic Scrolls games. Actually, you can actually check to see what the game is currently, connecting to those pronouns based on what you've previously done. So, if you say, for example, take the Fisher Fax and give it to Bream, we might want to try this. What does it, if we then used it or they, what would we be talking about? And this command lets us check that. So
yeah, so you might be able to say, take it from them.
yes.
Mm.
Exactly, yeah. And so if it doesn't work, you might want to go, well, hang on, what does it, what does it currently think them means, So yeah, I thought that was pretty esoteric and interesting. But yeah, a really nice feature. As I said, it's not a feature that I've ever seen mentioned in a text adventure game. So I'd be interested if other text adventures have it as an option.
It'll be interesting just to use that. Not to spend much time on it, but does it ever give us a clue as to what we should be interacting with?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see if we can remember and try it out.
Well, like the England team, we're 15 minutes in and we haven't done anything. So shall we crack on?
Yes. I did also actually want to just go through who the Finns are, because there is also like thumbnails or like a dossier about each of the 7 Finns. And I think maybe we need to kind of understand this a little bit better, because one of the things that the dossier includes is how we might recognize them even though they're in a host. So, for example, the brains behind the operation is a guy called Brian O'Brien, and is known as Brain. So Brian Brain O'Brien. He apparently has uncontrollable twitches of his left eye and looks like he's winking suggestively. And apparently he can't suppress that even when he's in a host. So there are a few of these that I think might become important. So we should bear that in mind as well. Maybe next week I'll go through who all of the 7 Finns are and what their tells might be according to the dossier. And the other thing that it mentions is that they often appear as musicians, so they warp into hosts and then form bands. And the suggestion in the manual is that they might be doing that because of the Coles effect, where they put earpieces in and wear shades, and then they can play gigs and no operatives can get close to them without protection. So it gives them a level of protection against interdimensional espionage operatives. Yeah, Maya is on the chat and she says, I think the Finn's tells are really important. I think you're right, Maya. But yeah, we should maybe get on with the game a little bit. Unless people want me to go through who all the 7 Finns are and give you their tells. I think we'll do that at the beginning of next time because we're already 18 minutes in. Okay, so that aside, let's load the game.
Where did we leave it? Where are we?
I think we're in the pub, are we?
In the pub, we've discovered Dr. Salman.
Oh, we just got the card off of him, his
Yeah.
ID card.
Yeah.
That's right.
We used it though, didn't we? To get into the crystal room? No? Was that something else?
No, there was like an alarm room, wasn't there? And we set the alarm off when we tried to go in. I think the Dr. Salmon's ID card is for the metal door.
To get into his office.
Yeah, just opposite the office.
Yeah.
Opposite the principal's office.
That's right. Yes, and so we can go and see what Salmon was up to in his lab. I've just done an inventory. We've got a new card, a screwdriver, a hyperdriver, and a bag. We're wearing a watch and some earplugs.
So we go to the clothes shop to go and get the sunglasses, don't we?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm a little bit confused though because we don't seem to be carrying our Fisher facts, which I thought we were.
It's all in the bag. You put it
Oh, it's all in the bag. You're right. Of course, yes. I've also done a pronouns just to see where we stand on pronouns. And currently it's not recognising an it or a them, but a him is currently Bertie Bream and a her is also unrecognised. So that's then we know who we're referring to if we use any of those. Okay, so yes, let's go to the clothes shop and get the sunglasses. If I can remember where to go. Let's have a quick look. So it's north to the plaza, then north to the clothes shop. And then maybe from there we can get to Pickerel and go round.
Were we going to pop back to our apartment to try and get the shelf as well?
Yeah, I think so.
True, yes, we could do that.
I'm not sure how much more we can carry though.
Oh
How
dear.
many items did we have to find on the list? Can anyone remember? Is there 7 by any chance?
7.
Was it 7 items?
So we might have to interact with each of these 7 deadly Finns and recognize them to complete each part.
It's only 6. You don't need to find the wall planner.
I'm really struggling to get the emulator to take my input again. Oh, I don't know why.
It's plain like England. It's going backwards.
Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to break out of it. It seems to be completely dead. Oh no, there we go. Look at that. It's just recovered. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. Okay, let's go north. You dart across Dace Road while nobody's looking. And then north again, clothing shop. A trendy pair of sunglasses are on sale and a tie is for sale. Might as well buy it all. Buy glasses with Visa card. 5 clams exactly. And then buy Thai with Visa card. 25 clams. Okay. So let's wear the glasses. We put them on. It did occur to me that a tie might be the kind of thing that you have to wear in a posh restaurant. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Then we have to book a table.
Yes.
Yes, we need to figure out somehow how to get a table. Should we go to our apartment? We have to go all the way around, basically. But we can do that. Let's just see what the time is. It's 20 past 2, 22 minutes past 2 to be exact. So, afternoon.
Well, we're going to have to go past the university, so we could pop to the disco and try to go into Salmon's office, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could do that.
Or we could go to the other station, which is past the university and closer to...
We could do that as well, yeah. Actually, I mean, it's quick to do, isn't it? It's, where are we? Plaza. It's, oh, I could have just gone southeast, I think. There's also a stool, isn't there? Let's maybe not forget the fact that there's a stool. Where is it from here? Is it southeast? No, east and then southeast. And then down. And then north, we're on the train. So we just got on the train at Eelpout. And then wait, we're at museum. Wait, Paddlington south. Mind the doors. Up Paddlington station. West, we're in Paddlington. And I think it was north into our building. Lobby, up. Put hand on silver plate. No, what was it? Put hand on.
This is a silver pad.
Or was it just metal plate?
I'm pretty sure it was silver.
It's silver to differentiate it from the gold one, which is Chubbs.
Doesn't understand pad.
Just do look, see what it says.
So hand is print, hand print. Okay. Put hand on silver print. There we go. Okay, we're in the lounge. In our lounge, there's a fish on here. Examine shelf. Dr. Roach bought the trendy black shelf from his favourite trendy black shelf shop. Get shelf. The shelf steadfastly refuses to be moved.
Unscrew shelf, perhaps?
Unscrew shelf with screwdriver. You can't do that to the shelf. Okay.
Use screwdriver on shelf.
Please phrase as use object to verb another object. Okay, so use screwdriver to remove shelf. I don't think it understands unscrew, does it? Let's just look under the shelf. Nothing of interest. Pull shelf. Remove shelf. Okay, it does understand unscrew. What do you want to unscrew?
You can't have a screwdriver and have it not understand unscrew.
True, yes, true. But we can't see a screw. I mean,
Okay, we need a crowbar. Let's move on.
Yeah.
it doesn't do inspect.
If you just do unscrew shelf, what happens?
I did that. That's the first thing I did. Oh, okay. Unscrew shelf with what? Unscrew shelf with... Oh, unless screwdriver's 2 words. No. Screwdriver's not 2 words. I could try it with a hyperdriver, I suppose,
I
but
think
that
you're
doesn't
right
work.
that
It's
it
the
probably would say there are some screws or it's screwed to the wall. or something.
Yeah.
It would, yes. It would.
Must be a shelf somewhere else we need to get.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is where we build the whole thing. Okay. Another thing that occurred to me is that getting the fish ton stolen transports it to the second-hand shop. So if we wanted to hide in the second-hand shop, maybe we could leave the door open and hide ourselves in the fish ton. Or hide, you know what I mean? Like, it's a way of getting something into the second-hand shop.
Same.
So
Yeah.
I did just want to try hide in fish ton. You're unable. Okay. It's a stupid idea. Get in fish ton. No, I don't follow you. No, quite right. Okay. It's probably nothing. I mean,
We'll go to a disco.
yeah. I'm going to close the door though. Put hand on silver. What was it again? Print. There we go.
Quick question, do we have the sunglasses on?
Do we have what?
Sunglasses on.
Yes, we're wearing them. Yeah, we're wearing a watch, some sunglasses, and some earplugs. I'm not wearing a tie though.
Who goes to a
Paddington.
disco wearing a tie? I mean,
Sorry?
who goes to a disco wearing a tie? I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Mods.
I don't think mods call it a disco.
Yeah, yeah. Maya says it wrong shelf. I guess maybe it is the wrong. It's odd though, isn't it? It's obviously a very cool shelf. Ah, sorry. What am I doing? Down. There we go. Okay. I'm just taking the tube all the way around to Opa University. Off, up, east. So north to the disco, guys. Save. CDO4, yes.
Now that's something I want in real life.
What, to save game before going to the disco?
Yeah.
You just replay the night over and over and over again. Eventually it'll work out for you.
No, I was thinking of it the other way around. I was thinking if it's a complete like mess, just reload and go home.
Okay, we're in. The dark glasses and earplugs provide just enough protection for the host parasite interface from the flashing lights and heavy bass. You are completely safe, as long as you keep them on, of course. Disco. The university disco is open all day and every day during Rag Week. The students are having a wild and wacky sponsored Hop Till You Drop competition. They're having a whale of a time. Whale. Pretending they're robots when the stroboscopic light is on and performing mindless synchronized dances to songs they'd normally only dance to if they were on holiday where no one would remember them. You know it's all done for charity, but they look suspiciously like they're enjoying themselves. Some disco dancers are here.
So we did a thing and got no points. Bah.
We did do a thing. Okay, the exits are south and down. Maybe... I wonder how we go... Okay. Okay, let's examine the dancers anyway. The disco dancers are having a whale of a time dancing to the music, except the whales, who are forbidden to dance in such confined spaces. Glancing towards the toilet, you can see a trout emerge, adjusting his flies. Okay.
Far too many fish puns.
Yes. I guess should we just go down?
I'm guessing that's where the toilets are.
You swim off, take a leak in the dark toilets, and swim back to the dance floor before you're missed. Disco. Some disco dancers are here. Okay, folks.
I think that's the first we've had in 10 weeks.
Might be time to bust a move.
I'm gonna say, let's dance.
I feel like we need to invite some disco dancers to the cinema.
It does occur to me that everyone's underwater, so I bet everyone's constantly letting a little bit of wee out. But yes, let's get dancing. You boogie on down to the rhythm, strutting your funky groove in an alarming fashion. Still, it gets you noticed. When the record finishes, the students congratulate you on your, quote, uninhibited style.
Can we speak to the students? Ask students about Bream, etc.
About Chubb? One of the disco dancers says, I don't know anything about that. Ask dancers about disco? Nope. I mean, we have no clues. We have nothing to ask them about. They're just students having a good time.
Yeah, we don't know why we're in there.
Do you think that
Not
this
some-
is just designed to teach us about the flashing lights and noise and what we need?
Possibly, but it's also obviously a safe place for us if we happen to be pursued.
Ah, that's true.
Or maybe we could tell the suspects to go to the disco and see which of them, which of them like change.
No, but you know that none of them can be in here if they don't have earplugs and glasses. So
Right.
then it's not them.
Sorry, Lee, say that again. If any of them what?
So if we have a suspect and they go into the disco and they haven't got glasses and earplugs, then you know that they are not one of the Finns.
Yeah, and conversely, if they refuse to go in,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go in there.
that's true.
They might just be introverts. It's also a reset place. I presume we could take our glasses and earplugs out and we would
Yeah,
go
probably.
Doctor's fault.
Although, last time we tried to go in without them, it just sent us back outside again.
Maya's made a suggestion. She says it might be a stretch, but go to the smoking area and borrow a filter.
Classic students.
Yeah.
Smoking area. Is there? I mean, how do you smoke underwater?
This was also way before smoking was banned indoors.
That's true. I don't think it mentioned smoking anywhere, did it? Good one though.
Perhaps it's more likely to be a water filter.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I suggest we go and have a look at the library book.
And
Okay.
then, yeah, if you said that you've managed to get info out of it, that'd be good.
I have.
Oh,
Yes.
you mean ask it what the filter looks like?
Well, I did. In fact, I asked it. I went through the map and asked it about every single object we've encountered in the entire game. Yep, I did that. And I mean, I may have missed one. I'm not guaranteeing that it literally was every single thing, but basically everything that we've got listed in the map, and it gave me a non-answer to all of them apart from the focus wheel. The focus wheel is the only thing that it responds to.
Were we told to look at a certain page? I can't remember. Were
No.
we given a number?
We weren't. It just says you turn to page 158, revealing a full colour picture of a focus wheel. If you look up anything else, if I look up a filter, for example, it says you search through the book, but the page you want has been torn out. And then it occurred to me, it keeps telling me that loads of pages have been torn out. Everything that it doesn't recognise, the page has been torn out. So I thought, well, I wonder what happens if you tear out the focus wheel page. Okay, so if you do that, if I say tear out page 158, it says there's a loud ripping noise as you tear the page from the book. Several of the students look your way. One of them wanders over. What's going on here? He demands, noticing your vandalism. Destroying library property, eh? He continues, pushing you out into the corridor. Sod off and don't come back. For some reason, he doesn't take the page from you. You're in the corridor. So if we do that, we end up with the page with the picture of the focus wheel on. If we try going back into the library, the students take the page off us and kick us out. If we drop the page somewhere and go in without the page, they just kick us out and tell us not to come in again. So we can now no longer go into the library, but we do have the focus wheel page. So I can only assume that that is the thing that we're supposed to get from the book. It's the page with the picture on itself.
And we got 8 points there.
Oh, we did.
Nice.
Okay.
Do we need a focus wheel?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's one of the items. So possibly we need someone to make a focus wheel and we need to give them a picture of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to photocopy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
much better than my suggestion, which was just that we might want to ask people if they've seen it.
And then at least we got a picture of it to show people, because they're not going to know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's right.
Yeah. So we could just go and stand on Shark Street and just say, have you seen this random object, to everybody who comes past?
I think trying to photocopy it is a really good idea
Yeah.
if it does anything other than.
Yeah, we should go and have a look in Salmon's lab and see if he's got more protocopier things as well. But the other thing that we could do is go and have a look at the terminal. So there's the terminal and the lab we should be able to get into now. Shall I show you where I got to with the terminal?
Yes, do
Yeah.
that.
Okay. We're in the corridor. So I need to remember now never to go south from this corridor, because the students will take the picture off us. Okay. I think if I go east, I bang my head. Yes, you smash your nose against the door. Put Tatty card in slot. After a few reassuring buzzes, the door slides open smoothly. We go east. Okay, the door shuts again. We're in our lab.
Quickly, Chris, before I forget, one of the things that I think I remember seeing in the manual, but I'd forgotten until we actually went to the location, is one of the example bits of parsing that it gives is tying the tie to the statue or to a statue.
Yeah, it does.
It was just weird that that was an example in the manual and there is both a tie and a statue in the game.
True. Yeah, we could try that out and see if it's useful or there's a message. I kind of read that as it's kind of giving us a hint about tying the cord to the gargoyle, possibly. But yeah, you're right. Okay, so this is what I did, right? I looked at the terminal. says the project terminal gives team members access to the university computer. And then I thought maybe you need to switch it on. So I said switch on terminal. It said it's already turned on. What you really need to do is sit down and log in. I was like, okay, so sit down. The login message is on the screen. Type login to enter system. You're now sitting at the project terminal. So I type login, and it says LAX 1803 version 1.19 University of Hydropolis. Login in brackets surname. So I typed Roach, and then it says password. So it does occur to me that we could type Cortex here. I keep seeing you laughing, but you've got mute on, so I never get a reaction on the audio.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, have we encountered anything else that would be an obvious password?
Right, so that's exactly what I thought as well. So I typed something random and it said login incorrect. And then I wondered, where would you write down your password?
You'll find Fisher facts.
Exactly. So it did X Fishofax. It says the Fishofax is a really useful item, honest. It combines all the features of a diary and a wallet for about 4 or 5 times the price. It is open. It contains a Visa card. And then I thought, what if you read it? If there's text on it, if you say read Fishofax, it says, principal, 10 o'clock, don't be late, is written on today's diary page of your Fishofax. You've also written your computer password with the letters jumbled up to confuse anyone who reads it. It says EM. Again, you see, you're all laughing, but I can't hear any of it.
Sorry, I'm just unmuting myself so you can hear me start.
It just sounds fake if you press unmute before you start laughing.
I was all ready with a pen then to do like a really cool anagram.
I know, me too, right? So, but this is as far as I got. I didn't try the password.
So do we think it's literally me, or do we
Yeah.
think it's something to do with yourself? Well, try me, I suppose, then.
Okay.
You shouldn't really have to write that down, should you?
Hey, at least he encrypted it.
So you think it's me like that?
Case sensitive? Who knows?
No, I think we're in. It says Fish Tricks version 1.19 System 2. Welcome to Fish Tricks. Time 15:39.
Hey, security in the 80s or early 90s.
LS?
Yeah.
Command not found. For commands, type commands. Honestly, I didn't think me would work. I assumed that it was me backwards, so the password would be Roach backwards, me backwards. But it wasn't even as sophisticated as that, was it? It was. So well done. Awesome move. Okay, commands. Log out. We don't want to use that. Commands. We've just done that. Project, mail, who, read, and games.
Let's play war games.
Yeah, I know.
Play war games.
How long has it been since I was actually typing on a mainframe terminal? I must have been like 8 years old the last time I did this.
This is where we find out that Colossal Cave is like built into it.
Yes. That'd be amazing. That's like a Maniac Mansion. Maniac Mansion
Wasn't it
built
Global
into.
Thermonuclear War? Was that the game?
Yes, in war games.
Tic-tac-toe. And tic-tac-toe, yeah.
Yeah, Maniac Mansion's built into Day of the Tentacle, the LucasArts game. There's a whole like list of games that have other games built into them that you can play from terminals. It's such an excellent list. Anyway, well, let's try games. Obviously, that's the first place to go. Select game: chess, hack, prawn, Guild of Thieves, spelled G-I-L-L-E-D instead of Guild, G-U-I-L-D. Fish, shut down, quit to return to command mode. There's a game called Fish. Are you sure, yes or no? Oh, let's just say no. I might explore these before the next episode.
I'd imagine there's probably lots of information in our mail.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's also a game called Hack. And I
There-
don't know, I'm just thinking that it might be somewhere where you go, you play the game Hack, which teaches you how to hack. And then later on in the game, you then have to hack for real under time pressure. And unless you've practiced, you won't be able to do it. That's what I would do.
That sounds like exactly the kind of shit they'd pull.
Like to disable an alarm, for example.
Ooh.
Anyway, I've tried mail and it says no mail in user spool mail. So let's have what's read? Which file do you want to read? Project, note, store, equipment.
Can we look at all of them?
Yeah, pick any.
Sure thing. Okay, let's read project. Opar University 660/55/4. Project notes for project member eyes only from A. Roach. That's me. Or us. Project Prime Directive. To save Hydropolis, which is under threat from water evaporation, by streaming water from an alternative dimension, Fractal Aquaria 2, the interdimensional matter streamer, will be referred to as the device from now on. Okay, so Fractal Aquaria 2 is the alternate dimension, and the matter streamer will be referred to as the device. So that's what the device is. It's a matter streamer. Okay. I think we're in read mode because we've got a hash prompt. So let's try note. Opar University 660/55/6 project notes for project members' eyes only from principal. Some serious anomalies have arisen in the last batch of data. Someone is tampering with the figures and the project. All staff are advised to remain vigilant regarding all suspicious data and misuse of computer time. Let's nip this problem in the bud, boys. Misuse of computer time. Okay. What else was there?
Now, is that also a hint at someone having hidden something important in a game that they were caught playing, and rather than it, I don't know.
So someone's tampering with the figures. And they must be doing that when people aren't around. Possibly. But maybe. Let's have a look at store. Same heading. From A. Roach. Store notes. The stream regulator has been stolen. This is serious. The project will fail if we don't replace it. At present, we haven't located any replacement components. Anyone who can find them will be a hero. Here's a list of what's needed. Filter. Proton bridge. Dr. Salmon worked on this. He may know its whereabouts. Focus wheel. Stolen days ago. Tuned crystal. There's an untuned one in the museum, but they won't let us near it. We also need a case to keep everything stable. Okay, so that's a little bit more information about the objects.
Doesn't mention a shelf, does it?
No, it doesn't. You're right. Anything else it doesn't mention?
A wall planner.
Yeah. Basically had the same information. But the photon bridge presumably is in Dr. Salmon's lab. So that would be the next place to go. Let's have a look at equipment. It says stream regulator equals open bracket A plus C, close bracket, plus open bracket B plus D close bracket plus E. Okay. A plus C plus B plus D plus E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 objects, right?
So combine the A and the C, and then combine the B and the D, and those will give you 2 more things then, though. And then combine those 2 things.
Yeah.
So this is a how to construct it, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be. But what was A and what was C? So A was the photon bridge and the tuned crystal.
Oh.
Oh no, the filter and the focus wheel, the photon bridge and the tuned crystal, and then put them all on a shelf.
If that's really what A, B, C, D are.
Yeah.
Because they weren't actually lettered, were they? They were numbered. Or they were numbered on the wall planner. They weren't numbered anywhere else.
They were. But that's the only order we've got.
Thought they were lettered.
And the E would be the case, not the shelf.
I mean, they might have been lettered instead of numbered. Yes, the case. Sorry, you're right. We put them in the case. Okay, let's quit to go up to command level. That's all of the notes to read. So we haven't tried who. Access permissions available for A. Roach, project leader, B. Bream, S. Tench, and E. Chubb. Okay. Can we say A? No, it's not a menu. So who A? No? Oh no, they're just our initials, sorry. I only looked at the A and the B. Who Roach?
So Chris, I mean, so the normal sort of Unix command is who am I? And I think it will tell you that you are Roach because you're logged in as Roach. But what this is telling you is that there are 3 other users that you could log into the system as. But we don't know their passwords. And I'm assuming that they aren't me.
Yeah. They must have their own password somewhere. Okay. Yeah, you're right, because it just gives us information. It doesn't take us into a different prompt. Okay, and then project is the only one we haven't tried. This is the project file list. To access a file, use the read system command, project note, store equipment. So we've done that already. Okay, that's it. That's all we can get from the, apart from the games, of course. Okay, let's try hack then, shall we? This game is only available during off-peak shift between midnight and 6 a.m. So we have to come back at night to play hack.
Okay, that's really interesting as well.
If we say chess, that's also only available off-peak. If you say prawn, it says The Prawn, copyright 1985, 1986, Maggot Rolls Limited, version 2.3. You're on a gravel path leading north to 2 snow-capped mountains. To the west is a dying forest. Eastward is a vast grassy plain, and the path also continues southwards. This is the opening location of The Pawn, which was Magnetic Scrolls' first game. If you go south, it says interrupted. Message from principal. You and Simon Tench had better stop playing games and start some work on the project. Game aborted.
So it was something to do with what I thought, that they were... but we also know it's Simon Tench. So Simon Tench has been playing games. Sounds suspicious.
If we try Guild of Thieves, we get the same message. Interrupted message from principal. Fish gives us that "Are you sure? Yes or no?" And then shutdown, which is a dangerous sounding name, but should be the name of a game. Shutdown, access denied. That program is owned by Simon Tench only. All right, Tench, we're on to you.
So we've got to find out Simon Tench's password so that we can then log in as Simon Tench and then play Shutdown.
Or not run Shutdown. I mean, that sounds like doesn't sound like a game to me.
Yeah, we need to save the game first, and then.
Surely you're trying to tell me that you've never hidden some, nefarious script code in a folder called games.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So this just leaves Fish, the game, which asks us the question, "Are you sure? Yes or no?" I feel like I want to save the game before trying it. So I'm just going to quit. Okay, I've finished the session. And then save the game. And then I'm going to very quickly go back in.
We've only got 2 minutes left,
Yeah.
so you might.
Okay.
I'm expecting some self-referential, never-ending, infinite loop of playing Fish.
He's literally just restarted the game. Well done, Agent 10, said Sir Playfair Panchax, head of Mission HQ. It must be time for food. Splatto, a hand as big as a bus, drops something hard right on your head. We're in the goldfish bowl.
No!
And everything, our score has been set to 0. It's literally starting again from scratch.
Can we not go to the where we just saved?
Yeah.
Yes, thank goodness.
They're sods, aren't they? Those developers. I want you to try global thermonuclear war.
Shall we play a game? Okay. Nerd jokes aside, do we have time to just have a little peek inside Salmon's lab?
Oh, yeah. Let's just go and have a look inside.
Oh. I tried to put the card in the slot for the door, but I was still sat at the terminal. So I had to stand up first. Okay, up to the university foyer. I think it's north from here, is it? You smash your nose against the door. Put new card into slot. The card fits neatly into the slot. After a few reassuring buzzes, the door slides open smoothly, and the card is returned to your waiting hand.
Points.
A lot of points.
Research wing. This is where a lot of the groundwork for the project was done by the famous Dr. Salmon. Unfortunately, his work was shelved to make room for your endeavours, and anyway, he sniffed far too much. You can swim up into the tower from here, or pass through the metal door with a slot beside it to the south. There is a crystal tuna here. Well done, Lee.
It's just too obvious a pun, really.
Okay, let's examine the tuna. The crystal tuna is a box which lets you adjust the receiving frequency of a given crystal. It is open. Okay, so we need to get a crystal somehow. Exits.
We know where an untuned crystal is.
We do, but they just won't let us have it. Oh, look. Oh dear, what has happened? We went up. Tower. Water must be evaporating fast. The tower is only half full. You swim up and break the surface to take a look around. In the ceiling, high above, through the air, is a trapdoor, but there seems no way of getting there. You dive quickly back underwater before your gills dry out. Abruptly, everything starts heading towards a certain point, accompanied by a grotesque sucking noise. Before you have time to react, you are surrounded by a blinding white light which rapidly expands to engulf the whole of Hydropolis. Then silence. You are nothing but a handful of minute particles floating in free space. You blew that, didn't you? Sir Playfair Panchax is clearly not amused. We'll try and get you back to your bowl, but I've got some bad news. The Finns have located you. They're out for revenge. Keep your head, old chap. This could be nasty. Panchax out. You are dumped back in the fishbowl. Goldfish bowl. A tingle runs up and down your scales here. It's definitely not your vacation bowl. True, it does have gravel, ant eggs and pondweed, but then so has every goldfish bowl. The difference is you can see out of this bowl and it doesn't have a tacky plastic castle. It looks like you're in a computer room of some kind with terminals lining the walls. We're back here.
We are dead.
We are dead. The only thing that we can do that we suggested last time but never got a chance to was to try and dig in the gravel. You can't see any gravel here. Oh well. Well, it says it does have gravel and eggs and pondweed, but gravel's not something we can interact with.
So why do we think that happened? Time or location?
Or because we went up into the tower?
That is a good question. I mean, it's a tricky one to even try because I've saved over our previous saves. Also, how on earth do we get to the trapdoor in the top?
Well, obviously, once we've got the water machine working and we've
Yeah, make water.
yeah.
Mm.
But that would be the end of the game. If we've done that, then we've solved the whole game.
Maybe that's the last thing we have to do, get out the trapdoor.
Maybe.
With the tuna, the crystal tuna is the last thing we need to get.
Well, that's available to us to get.
Yeah, that's
We need to build the whole water streaming teleporter thing and get it all working, and then maybe we can get through the trapdoor, and maybe that's where the ending is. But it seems a bit odd. It seems like as soon as we've done that, we would be pulled back from our warp anyway. But anyway, okay, well, that's basically it. We've, in this game session, we've explored everything that would opened up to us to explore last time. And I think we've left the game in a position where we literally have no idea what to do next.
Again.
Excellent. Again, yes.
I think we've actually taken on a lot of information in this session. We've read a lot of clues. So we now know how to construct the machine, at least when we get the parts, and more clues of what we're looking for.
True. We certainly need to investigate Simon Tench a bit more.
And we can try photocopying things.
I have no idea how to use the protocopier. And Maya says, I bet whoever's sabotaging the project is being possessed by a Finn. Yeah. For sure.
definitely agree.
And it looks like it's Simon Tench. Or someone pretending to be Simon Tench by logging in as Simon Tench. Isn't Simon Tench the guy who's a bit of a stoner?
I don't remember.
We need to invite him to the disco.
Yes. Or to the movies.
Ah.
That's a good shout. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for playing along. And
See you next week.
See you next week.
bye all.
Bye.
Bye.
And bye everyone who's watching online. Thanks so much for joining us.